Joining us now is Brittney Hopper, independent journalist. Brittney, thank you so much for your time. I want to get your thoughts on the global response to this evil terror attack, to Islamist terrorists gunning down innocent Jews in Sydney, Australia, at our iconic Bondi beach. We are so heartbroken. But as I mentioned earlier, the warnings were there. We have weak leaders running this country. Here is Donald Trump's message following the attack.
And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody, but to Australia and the Prime Minister, to everybody that we know so well, we get along with so well. We have a great relationship. That's a terrible situation going on over there. Think of that.
And Trump's ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, has blasted our Prime Minister Anthony Albanese for his initial response to the attack. He wrote, "This disgraceful statement from Australia's Prime Minister never mentioned it was a jihadist attack on Jews on the first day of Hanukkah. Hope he's ashamed of anti-Semitic statements past year." I mean, Brittney, you're on the other side of the world and you've been seeing this rise in anti-Semitism taking place here in Australia. We have leaders who have ignored calls to take action against anti-Semitism. It's so frustrating. It's really hard to hear their thoughts and prayers right now. Can I get your thoughts from Florida?
I mean, I have a lot of thoughts. On one hand, as you mentioned, a TV journalist, and so I've been in the media for so many years telling these stories. But on a personal level, I'm Jewish and I'm raising a Jewish daughter. So this hits so close to home for me. This particular community, the Chabad community, I was born and raised with and under their teachings, and I can tell you firsthand that they are some of the warmest, kindest humans on this planet, who literally their life's mission is to spread light and kindness and happiness to all, not just Jews, but to everyone around the world. So the fact that these particular people were targeted, it's just so unbelievably sad. I mean, when anyone is targeted, right? Any group is targeted like this, but we are seeing more and more of the Jewish people being targeted. And yes, as you mentioned, the Prime Minister, the Australian government, they had been warned. And for some reason, we cannot figure it out, nothing was being done until now. We have one of the worst terrorist attacks that happened in that country. So, I don't know what is going on, but we can only look at what is happening in the UK, in Europe, in Canada, in Australia, and they all have a common denominator. So what's next? What is it going to take?
Brittney, I couldn't agree with you anymore. I mean, I am in awe of the strength and resilience of the Jewish community, and my heart goes out to every person, no matter where they are in the world, that has been impacted by this horrific attack. Let's just play Trump's advisor here, Leo Terrell. He was on Fox News earlier.
Overwhelmingly, most of the world recognises a two-state solution as being the way forward in the Middle East.
Leo, what do you think about that?
Let me be as clear as possible. He is wrong. There's no two-state solution coming out of this Trump administration or the State Department. He is wrong. Martha, that's called appeasement. It didn't work in 1939. It never worked.
I think Anthony Albanese has a lot of explaining to do, the way he has ignored the Jewish community here in Australia for so long. And it's very difficult. Brittney, as a journalist, I also want to get your thoughts on what you make of the media's response to this attack. Some outlets were very slow to call this out for what it is, an Islamist terror attack against Jews. One of the gunmen allegedly had an Islamic State flag in his car. Some social media personalities are all of a sudden acting surprised that this attack has taken place after they were celebrating and encouraging some of these hate marches that have taken place, like on our Sydney Harbour Bridge. Some of these podcasters have been demonising Israel, demonising Zionists, certainly ignoring the safety concerns of Jews at home. What's your assessment of the media's coverage so far and what you've noticed in how this has been reported?
So it's twofold here because we have a much larger battle against us. Because, sure, ABC News, for instance, their headline for hours, even after it was known that it was a terrorist attack against Jewish people at a Hanukkah festival, even after it was well known and stated by authorities and confirmed, ABC News did not disclose that in their headlines. It wasn't until deep down into the story you had to click it and see and read, oh, Jewish people were targeted. It was a Hanukkah event. Now, the other part to this, though, that we are heavily up against is the social media. What we're seeing on TikTok, what we're seeing on X, what we're seeing on Instagram. I mean, comments that this was a false flag, comments that this was actually Israel who did this. I can assure you, as a representative of the Jewish people and community, there is no way we are killing our own. We don't even kill anyone else. Thou shalt not kill. That's what we live by. But yet at the same time, we have these radical Islamists that believe it when they say it, they want to kill. And I'm not talking about all Muslims here. And I want to make this point because there are some good Muslims. And as we saw, the hero who actually helped divert this terrorist. But these are radical Islamists that we are talking about. And again, there's a common denominator here. I don't see radical Christians, radical Catholicists, or Catholics, radical Mormons, radical Jews going around and blowing themselves up to try and kill as many people as possible. And time again, this is what we keep seeing. And as far as the two-state solution, how can you live next to a country their entire ideology is to kill and wipe out the country next to them? How are you supposed to live in peace with these people? And it's not just the Jews, guys. It's not just us. We're being targeted right now, but don't think for a second that anyone who has Western values or Western ideologies, that you're not next.
And we really need to have this conversation, I think, here in Australia, that if there are people here who do not uphold Australian values of safety, of kindness, of faith, they should not be here. We are still processing this horrific attack. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also blasted Anthony Albanese, labelling him a weak leader and really laying into him for failing to stamp out rising anti-Semitism.
Your government did nothing to stop the spread of anti-Semitism in Australia. You did nothing to curb the cancer cells that were growing inside your country. You took no action. You let the disease spread. And the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today. We saw an action of a brave man, turns out a Muslim brave man, and I salute him, that stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews. But it requires the action of your government, which you're not taking. And you have to, because history will not forgive hesitation and weakness. It will honor action and strength. That's what Israel expects of each of your governments in the West and elsewhere, because the disease spreads and it will consume you as well. But we are worrying right now about our people, our safety, and we do not remain silent. We fight those who try to annihilate us.
Brittney, I've been spending a lot of time with people in the Jewish community over the last 48 hours. Incredible people, as you say. That many of them say they are, of course, shocked, horrified by what has taken place, but they were not at all surprised. There are, of course, still real fears that this could happen again. Can I get your thoughts on what Netanyahu had to say and his comments to Anthony Albanese?
Right. Well, of course, I agree with everything that he had to say. He was spot on. Unfortunately, these cancer cells, these terror cells that he was talking about, how many more are out there? I mean, let's really think about it. This was just one that happened. There is constant planning going on, and it's a combination of government not taking it seriously, but also mainstream media, social media, allowing these lies and conspiracy theories being spread, and this hatred being spread, and it's not stopping. And so these people are justifying the Jewish population being targeted right now, which is sickening. It is sickening. And I don't know if it's going to stop anytime soon. However, I will say the Jewish people have been targeted for thousands of years. And there's always been a group of people who have wanted to wipe us out, and yet we still come back stronger, kinder, and continue to spread the light that we were born and taught by God to spread.
And it is amazing, and you certainly keep spreading it. So do so many people in that community, and I'm witnessing it. The only way to fight darkness is with light and spreading light. Brittney, I want to get to this story in LA, where federal authorities say they disrupted a terrorist threat, arresting 4 alleged members of a pro-Palestinian extremist group who were accused of planning coordinated New Year's Eve bombings in LA. The FBI told Fox News Digital that members of this self-identified part of a radical offshoot of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, an extremist group motivated by pro-Palestinian and anti-government ideology. According to the FBI, they were allegedly planning coordinated bombing attacks on New Year's Eve using improvised explosive devices, targeting 5 separate locations across LA. I mean, a place that you used to live. Well done to the FBI for catching this. Brittney, can I get your reaction? Is there anything more you can tell us about this?
Yeah, I mean, I was born and raised out here. It hits home very closely, obviously. Los Angeles is a very, very large area. It's not like New York City. It's not like Sydney, Australia. It's not like some of these cities in these bigger countries. It's very wide, and I can now understand how there was going to be potentially 5 different areas where this was going to happen. It's horrifying. It's frightening. The entire world should be on edge right now. It's not just Los Angeles. It's not just Sydney, Australia. It's not just, all of these other places. We're seeing in Paris, they just canceled New Year's Eve plans. We're seeing a lot of people step up because I think that like I said previously, there's more to come. A lot of these planned terrorist attacks are being thwarted, thank God. However, it's inevitable that something is going to happen, whether it's in our country, your country, the UK, over in Europe, in Canada, something else will happen, unfortunately. And there is a common denominator of who the culprits are.
Extremist. Brittney Hopper, independent journalist, thank you so much for being so generous with your time and sharing your light here on Power Hour, and always being such an amazing contributor. Thank you so much. Sending lots of love to you and your community.
Thank you so much. Thank you.